Building a large and developed back is a non-negotiable part of anyone's training, regardless of your goals. Whether that's aesthetics, performance, or even just general posture, having a well-developed back will serve you very, very well in your training career. In my opinion, back training is the most effective when it's kept simple and simply just trained hard. So I'm going to give you a basic blueprint on back training. Get strong at these movements and stay consistent over time, and you're going to develop a monstrous back. Let's get into it. Step 1 is vertical pulls. My favorite exercise of all time, the pull-up, is going to cover you on this basis. Lat pull downs are also a great alternative if you don't have the strength to do enough chin-ups to stimulate a growth response. Lat pull downs will cover you on that basis. Now, in my opinion, the pull-up completely blows the lat pull down out of the park in terms of muscle hypertrophy and strength gained, especially if you start adding weight to your pull-ups and you get very strong at them. It's no comparison in my opinion. But regardless of what you do, include a vertical pull. Now, vertical pulls are going to primarily hit your lats. They're going to give you that nice V taper, really add to the width of your back due to the shoulder extension of the arm in the vertical pull. But they are also going to hit the upper and mid back depending on the grips you take. So in general, remember this, the closer the grip, the more of a lat bias you are going to have in the movement, and the more of the wider grip, the more of the upper and mid back you are going to train in the movement. But regardless of the grip you take, you're really going to smoke those lats on your vertical pulls. Step 2, horizontal pulls. So any type of row is going to cover you on this basis, and there's literally dozens and dozens of rows you can do. A bent over barbell row, a pendlay row, inverted row, dumbbell row, cable row, the list literally goes on. Just pick a row that you like and you can feel a decent mind-muscle connection with when performing the exercise. Get stronger at it and stay consistent. Now, horizontal pulls, they're really going to hammer your upper and mid back due to the shoulder retraction, basically pulling your shoulder blades back during the movement. And also, if you do a bent over version, like a barbell row or a Yates row or a pendlay row, due to the stabilization that your back has to do during the movement, that's really going to hammer those spinal erectors, so the two thick muscles that run directly down your back on either side of your spine, and it's also going to train your lower back. So both of those muscles are going to get hit in a isometric fashion when doing a bent over version. Now, when you're doing your rows, elbow position plays quite a large role in what muscles you put the emphasis on. So in general, the closer your elbows are to your torso and the lower you row it, so around the belly or waist area, the more of the lats you are going to bias, and the more of a flared out elbow position, the higher you row it to your chest level, you're going to target more of the upper back region. But just like pull-ups, regardless of the grip and elbow position you take, you're really going to hammer those upper and mid back muscles when doing your rows. Now, in terms of reps on the horizontal pulls, I like to go a bit higher. So 10 to 20 reps, I like to stay in that range there. For the simple reason, because I'm using a lighter weight, it makes my form a lot easier to keep strict, and it eliminates cheating and leg drive if I'm doing a bent over version. And the third tip is hip hinges. Now, the back plays a secondary role in hip hinges because it's primarily a lower body movement, but due to the stabilization that your back goes through during the movement, so it has to stay rigid and stiff while you bend forward like this, you're really going to target those spinal erectors and the lower back. And your traps are also going to get hit very hard if you do a variation where you're holding the bar in your hands, like a Romanian deadlift or a regular deadlift, anything like that, you're really going to toast your traps doing that. In terms of structure, I like to perform my hip hinges on a lower body day because they are primarily a lower body movement. But if you want to do your hip hinges on an upper body day or a back day, if you have one, I would structure it something like this. Start off with a heavy hip hinge. You're going to use the most weight on a hip hinge, so you're going to need the most energy and the most focus to keep your form nice. Then I would move to a vertical pull. The reason for this is because you're hanging from the bar and you are decompressing your back. It gives your lower back a little rest before you go into a horizontal pull. And because you're pre-fatiguing your muscles with the vertical pull, you're gonna lift less weight on the horizontal pull at the end, therefore getting more out of less weight. And then I would end the session with a horizontal pull, somewhere between 10 to 20 reps, really finish off those back muscles. But that being said, you can do it in any order you want. You can start with a horizontal pull and end with a hip hinge if you want to do it that way. My advice would be just to always split up the two pulls with a vertical pull in the middle, just for the spinal decompression you get, giving your legs and lower back a little bit of a break, therefore performing better in your session. And that's all there is to it. Like I said at the beginning, back training is a simple concept. A vertical pull, horizontal pull, and a hip hinge. Do these 3 movements, get stronger over time, and you're gonna develop a very large and impressive back. So with all that being said, try it out for yourself and see how you go from there. Till next time, peace.